Good evening, all of you. We'll be starting this program in just a couple of minutes. थोड़ा लेट हो गया है, please. Good evening. On behalf of VI, we welcome you all to this program of Demonetization and Income Tax Act. Since 8th November 2016, 8 p.m. डेट तो 8 नवंबर याद है और ईयर नवंबर होता है 8 नवंबर 2016 8 बजे. As soon as the PM of our country, Narendra Modi ji, has announced the demonetization of high value currency, it has been talk of the town. And there are few amendments in the Income Tax Act since 8 November. We are here to cover the demonetization and the Income Tax Act related to demonetization. We have with us Authority on Direct Taxes, Sri Rajesh Loya ji. He is past chairman of Nagpur branch of WIC of ICA. He is actually president of Income Tax Bar Association Nagpur. I request Praful Doshi sir to offer a floral welcome to Rajesh Loya sir. So I request Ashok Chandaka, chairman of VIA Taxation Corporate Law Forum, for his opening remarks. Thank you, Sachin. Praful bhai, Rajesh, Suresh, Naresh, and Sachin, and members and professionals, industrialists of the city present here. As rightly pointed out by Sachin, that since 8 November 2016, anyone with whom you want to talk, you just open a topic and he will start the topic with demonetization. क्या होगा, मेरा इसका क्या होगा, मेरा उसका क्या होगा, किसी ने कैसे जमा किया, किसी ने कैसे जमा किया, क्या पता नहीं क्या होगा. जमा करने के बाद में बैंकों में जमा करने के बाद में once you deposit the money in a bank, it gets lock in your name that this is the money deposited by you in cash in a particular bank. And everyone is worried about what will happen under the taxation laws, various taxation laws, not only income tax law, but there are also other tax laws which can cash hold you. There are certain accounting issues also in relating to how do you credit that amount in your books of accounts if you are already declared. If you have a cash in hand and you are deposited, then there is no issue. But if you are going under that 50% taxation scheme and all these things, then where to credit the income, etc. Those are accounting issues are also there. And once you credited your profit and loss account in the books of accounts, there are other people who are just watching. Those are excise, those are sales tax, those are OCTRA people, wherever the OCTRA or anti-tax people, all are watching what you are doing. Therefore, you are expected to be watchful, be careful. One of the area of all those authorities who are going to watch you are the income tax authorities. And today, we'll try to get answers from all your queries, how to get rid of an income tax authorities. Of course, everyone knows how to get rid. That's open secret. But legally, how to prepare ourselves to get rid of those clutches to the income tax authority. For that, we have a very learned speaker, Mr. Rajesh Loya, a chartered accountant, known for his expertise in the entire Central India. And I do hope that his presentation and the question answers which you are going to ask and his reply to those question answers will benefit each one present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Suresh Rathi, sir, Vice President VI, to address the gathering.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to welcome all of you here at VIA. I can see the dais full of two top bosses in two different taxes. Our very own Mr. Ashok Chandak, our past president of the institute, who is an authority on sales tax, and Mr. Rajesh Roya, an authority on income tax, and now especially dealing with the cases of search seizure. So, I think, I do not know if this is the right time for VI to really have taken up this topic, or should this have been on maybe 10th of April, 10th of November. But nonetheless, I think I also keep receiving a lot of calls from my fellow industrialists. Many of them have a lot of problems I do not know every day, because Mr. Modi has changed so many things. Every now and then he has made a lot of amendments, a lot of changes, and the department, income tax authorities also, if I use that name in front of any of my fellow industrialists, will definitely have something to say on that. But everybody was really asking lot many queries as to, suppose I have got cash in, how do I deposit? If I deposit, what's going to happen? If I deposit, will there be any query from the income tax department? Or how anybody should really go ahead? Many of them actually have taken action on, and few others are really, the action is still pending. I think those who have already taken action now still have 23 days from now, and they listen to Mr. Rajesh Roya, wherein they can really take corrective measures on whatever they've already done. And for remaining, it is an opportunity to really know from such an authority on tax as to how one should go about. So, with this, not taking much of the time, I know you people must be having a lot of queries. That will definitely will have last questions for question and answer, and I'm sure Mr. Rajesh will have a lot of people asking questions to that. Well, welcome to Mr. Rajesh and to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we request Chairman of this session, Praful Doshi, sir, immediate past President of VI, to address the gathering.
Good evening. Authority of the subject, Shri Rajesh Bhaiya, Ashok Babu और सारे मित्र लोग। ये मैं समझता हूँ कि हम इसको हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में कंबाइन रखेंगे, ताकि और किसी को कोई भी छोटा बड़ा कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो अपने दिमाग को भी, जैसा अभी बताया, सुबह से शाम तक सिर्फ यही चर्चा है कि मैं फंस गया, मैं ये हो गया, क्या करें, धंधे को वाट लग गई है। नहीं, अगर कुछ लोग बोलते जा रहे हैं कि व्यापार में क्या हो रहा है, इंडस्ट्री में क्या हो रहा है, धंधा नहीं चल रहा है, पैसा कोई ले नहीं रहा है, टैक्सी में जा नहीं सकते, चिल्लर सामान खरीद नहीं सकते, तो ये सब चीज़ों का जो हमारे ऊपर प्रभाव पड़ने वाला है, the effect of these things, we are going to suffer it, but at the same time, as an industrialist, as a businessman, हमको क्या असर होने वाला है और हमने अपने आप को किस मामले में तैयार रखना चाहिए, उस पर श्री राजेश भैया हमको गाइड करेंगे, और जो भी हमारे प्रश्न हो, क्वेश्चंस हो, उसे बाद में वो बिल्कुल आंसर करेंगे, इतना मुझे विश्वास। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ पुनः आपका स्वागत करते हुए
So not taking much of the time, even Rajesh is here. So please, now the audience and the podium all is yours.
Honorable Vice Chairman of
Vidarbha Industries Association, Mr. Suresh Rathi, immediate past president, respected Shri Prafulbhai Doshi, past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and the convener of this VAT Taxation, chairman of VAT Taxation and Corporate Law Committee, Shri Ashok Ji Chandak, Shri Naresh Jakhotia, Mr. Sachin Jajodia, chairman of the Nagpur branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Mr. Sabir Ghate, other dignitaries, industrialists, and fellow friends. Good evening to all. Since this scheme has been announced of demonetization on 8th of November, as said earlier, many discussions are going on, right from the man of the street to the highest dignitary sitting in the parliament. And what is the nature of that discussion? In which direction they are taking their discussion, everybody is aware. I do not dwell into those issues. Like everybody knows that the views are coming as to what will be the impact of this demonetization on the economy, whether the GDP will remain as it is, will grow or will lower down. Various rating agencies are giving their opinion. But my experience goes that all the opinion makers on the event day or maybe thereafter, they give the opinion, but they are also not accountable, because after say a month or two, maybe after 6 months, if their opinion goes wrong, there is no word from those agencies as to where they went from. People believe in them. They take action considering the opinions of these celebrities who may be called at times as economists, maybe agencies, maybe anybody else. So I think opinions in this country doesn't weigh too much. Then what a common man, what a common citizen, what an industrialist, which I feel is again a common man, what a chartered accountant, other professionals, they should do. Opinions apart. That is, what is the opinion of a particular person? What is your experience? I think that counts more. So the discussion about the economy, what to say about the economy when sitting in your office you can just gauge as to what is the transportation activity going on in the country. It is at the lowest ebb. What is the rate of steel? Why is it so? Naturally, the result comes before you that the infrastructure development in the country is again not that much which is required. Of course, now it has taken upward trend mainly because of the road sector and other like infrastructure facilities. So we can on our own judge where the economy is going. We need not have the opinion of anybody else. And the newspaper is also there. Good newspapers are there. On that basis we can. But then what is the result of making those opinions? Whether it applies to us or not, that is to be seen. So that is one discussion which is going on as to where the economy will go. What will happen if the money, say 14 lakh crore, if that comes into the banking industry, what is going to happen? So everybody thought that now the banking industry will be flush with funds, so the interest rate may go down. But what the RBI has done, since 8th of November, whatever is there with the bank, they were directed to keep it as cash reserve ratio till 10th of December. So the money is not with the banking industry also. It is just lying in the chest. Now the public at large, people found the okay, after 10th December, that will be available to the public. Maybe 9 lakh, 10 lakh crores already deposited in the bank. It will be made available. So the RBI is now with a very fine scheme of issuing bonds. Earlier they had planned of only 30,000 issue of 30,000 crore bonds, which are government bonds in which the banking industry is required to invest. But they have revised their plan. They have now revised their plan to issue bonds worth 2 lakh crore. And the banking industry is supposed to invest in those bonds. For the simple reason, because there will not be any other instrument available in such a large quantity, and to maintain SLR, CRR, everything, they have to necessarily invest in these bonds in which the interest rate
quoted is below 6%. So that money is also not available with the banking industry nor with the public at large, which we were presuming. So that will be available with the RBI. So these uncertainties, they are going on, but the discussion also is going on as to what will happen to this money in the banking industry. Ultimately, what we will be finding is, yes, banking industry would have sufficient money, but the circumstances should be there in their favor to lend the money, and those circumstances should be in the form of a good economical trend to be seen in future. If that is seen, the banking industry would certainly be a little bit aggressive and may lend the money. The third type of discussion that is going on in the country is whether this harder, rather harsh step taken by, one of the strongest steps any prime minister can take is demonetization. Other courses are also available, but he has chosen the hardest one. That is his nature. Right from the day one, we find that he always chooses to be a hard step taker. Like he will be dealing with Pakistan, going right there in the house of Mr. Nawaz Sharif, coming back. Any other situation, just see, just watch. He will be always taking hard steps. So demonetization is one of them. The result which we want from this demonetization, and which has been promised by the Honorable Prime Minister, is that this will curb the use of black money, which is ultimately utilized for what purposes? Not only for business, but also for many other illegal activities, unethical activities, and one of them is terrorism, trading in drugs, smuggling, everything. So whether that is going to be the history in this country, that fake currency would not be there, the terrorism activity may not be seen, and there will not be any illegal trade. So that is what we all are looking for, and that is what the government is also looking for, primarily. Secondly, the economy. They want to give direction to the economy, because the number two money, which is not in the system, which we say that it's a parallel economy, so 50% might be that, but then the various agencies, reputed agencies, they have quoted that around 20 to 30% is the economy which is not, is the money which is not in the economy. Now, this money is moving directionless. If it is in the hands of the government is able to give direction to that money. So again, this is one of the reasons that the government wants that all the money which are moving directionless, that should be given direction. So how that can be given direction? It should first come to the system, some part available with the citizens, some part going to the government inventing new schemes, giving new schemes to the citizens, people also contributing in those schemes with their entrepreneurship, contribute with their entrepreneurship in the growth of the country, and both move together. So that is what is the second aspect, which the Honorable Prime Minister, not only Prime Minister, but the parliamentarian, they want this country to see. And third is, the tax base in this country is very small. 3-4 crore people pay taxes out of 25 or 30 crore people. And out of those 4 crore, one can say, how much are the taxpayers who are paying more than, they are having more than 10 lakhs of income? It's less than, they are in lakhs only, not in crores. So that is where the finance ministry is also hoping that this particular scheme will result into two advantages. One is that the people will now change their attitude. They might think now to disclose more income, pay more taxes, and secondly, the tax base may widen. Because still today, there are many entrepreneurs, many small type of traders, big middlemen, They are all outside the clutches of the income tax department, any other revenue department for that matter. Their production itself is as if without utilizing any facility. Why I am saying so? Because in some of the states, the electricity is being used for the purpose of production, but the payment is not made. The electricity is coming out of some other line, so it is coming out of the system. So they are not using the infrastructure facility. That is what they feel. Now, such type of activity generates, that is the origin that we can call the Gangotri of the Ganga that is flowing in the form of black money. So, these out of economy people, the finance ministry wants them to be in the economy. So the discussion is going on. You are all aware about it. But for the first time, of course, Suresh has remarked that this particular lecture should have been taken, this particular topic should have been taken on the 10th, 11th or 12th. We are late, we are taking after a month or so. But I must congratulate VIA that this is the first organization, in my opinion, who has taken this topic. Of course, chartered accountants, it is a subject with them, so they have already discussed on that issue. But non-professional associates, non-chartered professional, yes, I am using a wrong word, industries are also professional, non-chartered accountants. This is probably the first organization which has taken up the issue, Income Tax Act, demonetization, what is the impact. So I congratulate the authorities of VI for this particular step. Now, coming to the scheme as such, already remarked, many queries. I feel Naresh Chakutia would have been very busy since last 1 month. We say ना ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड कुछ होते हैं तो पेपर में देने वाले अलग, जो पेपर में नहीं दे सकते अपनी क्वेरी, वहाँ से रिजोल्यूशन नहीं ले सकते, वो नरेश जी का नंबर, वो भी ये पूछ के कि आपका प्राइवेट नंबर है कि नहीं, वो पूछ के उससे सॉल्व करते हैं क्वेरी, और उसके एक कदम और आगे जाके कि आपका बैंक अकाउंट वो वाला बताओ जो डिस्क्लोज नहीं है, वो उनसे पूछा जाता है, जो रोज सलाह देते हैं कि डिस्क्लोज करो इनकम आप अपनी और टैक्स भरो। तो अनेक तरह की क्वेरीज, unimaginable queries resulting into what? At times, yes, it is fruitful also. लेकिन बहुत बार क्या होता है कि सब पूछने के बाद हम यदि उसको एक छोटा सा प्रश्न पूछ लें कि वो सब ठीक है, बट व्हाट इज द क्वांटम, तो वो कहेगा कि सर मैं तो पड़ोसी के बारे में पूछ रहा हूँ, मेरी तो कोई बात ही नहीं है। So this is all. Last 1 month we have all forgotten where the inflation is going on, where the economy is going on, border पे क्या हो रहा है, which parliamentarian is into that scam और ये वो कुछ नहीं. This is the only scheme and the effects of this scheme are being discussed. Now, how this scheme, demonetization, is not a scheme but the event of demonetization has an impact on the persons who are really holding the currency which has been demonetized, or the currency which they could get converted after demonetization. Both are there. Just examine a case wherein 10 crores, 2,000 rupees note deposited in one single day into the banking industry, saying that this is what is my undisclosed income. I hold this 10 crore rupees, so I am declaring this. Bankers would conveniently take that deposit. But suppose ED comes there. The next question the ED will ask is, okay, from where did you got this 10 crores of 2,000 rupees notes, that too serially numbered? So all care need to be taken. It is not the Income Tax Act alone, which Honorable past President Mr. Ashok Chandak has rightly pointed out. He all care, money deposited, not deposited, into your hand, not into your hand. you need to take care on each and every step. Of course, 10 crore Nagpur, it's a difficult proposition, except for maybe, you may not name, but then hardly 1 or 2 persons would be there. Not as a politician, nor any bureaucratic person, but then there are middlemen also. So every care needs to be taken. And therefore, there are a lot of queries. The queries start from, sir, I have old notes. Whether I can go to bank now, because I didn't go there on 10th of the November. On the very next day, I didn't go there. So whether I should go now to deposit that money. Whether I can deposit that money in installments. Whether the money which I am depositing, I am supposed to prove the source even when there is a sufficient cash balance in my books of accounts. Like in the books of accounts, the cash balance is say 50 lakhs rupees. That was not there with him. That is a presumption because he is carrying that cash balance since last 2 years. So there is a reasonable presumption that that cash is not with him. Now that cash is available with him. His question is whether I should deposit that money in a day or into various installments. Whether I can spread my deposits into say various files which I am having. Because one fine day, there was a statement in the Economic Times that anybody who is depositing 2.5 lakhs rupees or less than that will not be asked any question. Immediately, few people, I cannot name Hindi में कहना गलत हो जाएगा, smart persons. उन्होंने धन योजना से अपना काम चालू किया. Groups were formed. Friends, यानी हिंदुस्तान में कोई भी आपदा आ जाए, ग्रुप्स तैयार रहते हैं. इसको लोगों ने एक दूसरी तरह की आपदा मानी और समाज सेवा के लिए निकल गए. गांव-गांव तक पहुंचे, ग्रुप बने, प्रोफेशनल तरीके से कलेक्शन सेंटर खुले, रेट्स तय होते थे, डिमांड सप्लाई के बेसिस पे वेरी भी होते थे. ऐसा करते करते जनधन अकाउंट तक जब वो पहुंचा, एटलीस्ट फॉर दिस गवर्नमेंट यू शुड अप्रिशिएट. वन शुड अप्रिशिएट. देयर आर टू साइड्स ऑफ अ सेम कॉइन. आप रोज कुछ न कुछ गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से अमेंडमेंट्स देख रहे हैं, चेंज इन दी पॉलिसी, चेंज इन दी स्कीम देखते हैं. तो उसके लिए एक तो बड़ा सिंपल तरीका है कि भाई इन्होंने इस स्कीम को सोच के फॉर्मुलेट नहीं किया, इसलिए रोज इनको काम करना पड़ता है. दूसरा, the other side is, which I believe that is the only side which is there, कि the government is sensitive itself, इतनी ज्यादा sensitivity है कि यदि कहीं कुछ हो रहा है और मालूम पड़ता है तो यदि कोई लूपहोल है तो उसको प्लग कर लो, कहीं कोई तकलीफ है तो उसको रिलीफ मेजर्स पे दे दो. I feel the second side is more on the government side this time. तो जब जनधन योजना में लाइन लगी डिपॉजिट करने की, then the government thought that the few persons who are having this money, illegal money, they might utilize the income tax provisions as it is for converting their money from number 2 money to number 1 money. They will be bringing this money into the system. The earlier scheme was there, income disclosure scheme was there, in which the taxes paid were 45%. They could circumvent that scheme and now utilizing the scheme of 30%, which is available under the Income Tax Act. So there was a need to correct. There is an amendment. Then the government thought that the amount which the public at large is depositing, they are paying some cost. That cost is ranging, right? In the very first day, the cost was 40%. It went down to, the clients only say that now it is 10 to 15% now. Tomorrow, after 15th, it may increase also. But this is not, कोई पत्रकार यहाँ पर होता है ये ना लिखे, हम इसलिए मैं बात में रखे थे. तो गवर्नमेंट थॉट इट फिट कि ये इस तरह से यदि कुछ होता है तो पैसा गलत हाथों में भी पड़ सकता है. गलत पैसा भी कुछ चंद अच्छे लोगों को यूज करके और शायद ठीक हो जाए, वो निकल जाएगा ये सीधे साधे लोग जो जनधन योजना वाले हैं, जिनको कुछ नहीं समझता, वो फंस जाएंगे। ऐसी न्यूज भी है कि एक अकाउंट में 9 करोड़ 5 लाख रुपए एक ही दिन में डिपॉजिट हुआ और विड्रॉ भी हो गया। इट वॉज जस्ट कन्वर्शन, पुराना जमा हुआ है, एंड दैट मैन इन हुज अकाउंट दिस अमाउंट इज डिपॉजिटेड, वो लोकेट नहीं रहा, लोकेट हुआ तो उसका कहीं कोई अस्तित्व ही नहीं है, छोटा सा आदमी। तो ये सारी समस्याओं से दूर होने के लिए there is an amendment, the fresh Finance Act Amendment 2016 has been brought in. Now, had it been a simple case that the amendment is brought